Com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing.
and electrical.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful, with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work, to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown! 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome in. Don't Punt Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. You guys are always welcome to join in. We got DeMornay Pierson-El hopping on with us on the VIP, or the Allo VIP line, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. Let's go ahead, bring him in here. DeMornay Pierson-El, how's it going on it's not too bad here, on a Tuesday, or excuse me, I keep saying Tuesday, Wednesday, January 14th, 2026.
Not too bad. Enjoying the rest of this lovely weather before it, turns bad.
Yeah, I do think it's over, unfortunately, pretty soon here. I think we're going back to the unfortunate cold weather, although I know the farmers are going to be happy because there is a little bit of truth to it. We do need some snow because then you get what's called a drought. I know it's snow. It doesn't look the same as rain, but you need that snow to keep that soil nice and hydrated. So we'll see what happens here. I know the farmers are probably hoping that we start getting some snow here, but I've at least enjoyed the pretty calm and decent weather here. Plenty of things to talk about. DeMornay Pierson-El, I think the first thing to start on, and I want to spend all day on it because we've talked a lot of Husker football here, is your thoughts on potentially losing Mike Eckler, although nothing is solidified within the news quite yet.
This is the first time I'm hearing of that. What's going on with that situation?
I'm not going to play the clip because I played it a lot already, but essentially, so there is some rumors that maybe Mike Eckler would want to be a defensive coordinator if you're kind of nitpicking, or if you can bring him back as a special teams coordinator. Matt Rule went on the record today and said that he kind of made the offer to make him the highest paid special teams coordinator, if not the second highest paid special teams coordinator. However, that is a difference from any defensive coordinator. That pay is going to be obviously in favor of the DC as opposed to the special teams coordinator. I don't want to say anything for certain because Mike Eckler very well may still be a Nebraska Cornhusker. None of that's finalized whatsoever. But I think he just kind of left the door open. That's saying he's welcome to kind of look elsewhere, and he didn't want to speak for Mike Eckler, which I understand.
It's you can't be mad at a coach for trying a person having aspirations and goals to take a step and everything like that. If that's what he wants to pursue and everything like that, so be it. It would suck for him to leave, but I can't be mad for a person setting goals for himself and going out and achieving those. If he stays, great. But if he does decide to take a defensive coordinator job somewhere else and everything like that, I understand.
Yeah, do what's best for him. This is the kind of stuff that can happen out there. And I don't want to start saying if he leaves, because again, he might very well be the special teams coordinator. So I don't want to get in the conversation of talking about guys that we may bring in when it's still not said and done with. But it's interesting because the special teams has made such a significant jump. And you can make the argument that they've helped win us quite a few games and prevented us from maybe losing other games. You want that special teams game to be strong as it was going forward next year because we know that schedule. We don't have all the dates for it, but we know the teams that we're going to get at home and which ones we're going to get on the road. It's going to be a tough one. A lot of these games, if you're missing one of those three phases, you're going to be flirting with some potential losses or barely pulling out some of these tougher wins here. You also had another guy that we haven't talked about yet. This one's been in the news for a while, but I do want to bring it up because we did go ahead and get a new defensive line coach as well. We let go of Terry Braden. I want to get your thoughts on Terry Braden first, though, before we move on. I'll quick give you mine. I don't really blame Terry Braden. Whether it was X's and O's, maybe, but I think it was probably more along the lines of just the youth and not necessarily having a ton of experience at those position groups. That led to a lot of the disappointment from that unit this year. Not as much as Terry Braden. I think he's probably still going to go on and have a pretty solid career.
On the defensive side, you had a lot of guys that were coming down from the pro level and adjusting to college. So I'm not going to be too hard on that because that's not an easy change.
Right.
It's a lot of rules and everything that you got to go to and go with and whatnot. Him walking into a brand new room of guys having to step up and still having to develop and everything like that. I don't know what you expect from a guy to come in, and kind of learn guys off of 6, 8, maybe 10 months. It was under a year. So I'm not saying I'm expecting him to, turn everybody into first rounders, but it's only so much, that he can do with young guys and people stepping up to the plate. So I think he did a fairly good job. Coach made a decision to be, go in a different direction for the defensive staff and everything like that. So I'm not saying, it's his blunder. You had undersized kind of type of guys or more athletic type of guys to fit a certain scheme that the scheme, was hit or miss. So I don't hang everything on one coach and he's the reason why stuff was and everything like that. There's only so much you can expect from a guy who honestly hasn't known much of anybody in there for at least a year or working with them for a year. It takes time. It's just not. Everybody's not going to wake up and be, a Michael Jordan or, a Sue or, Deron Payne or anything like that. Like, it's going to take some time to kind of get that out of people, or even, a Nash or a Ty Robinson. It took those guys, some time to develop and everything like that. So it sucks to see him go that he doesn't get to, continue to polish, his players and everything like that. But, it's what can you do for me now type of business, and I understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how these pieces all fall together. And then the new guy we're bringing in is going to be Corey Brown out of Miami, Ohio. We'll see how he does as well. Hopefully get a little more youth and experience. And we still got players falling in from the portal. I know we got some more offensive linemen. And they're already starting to plug in there where Jenkins is going to be, where Pritchett's going to be, and how do we fill in these gaps. So there's still a lot of time left. And that's why you got to be careful with Husker football, at least I think as of now, because it's easy to just kind of throw your hands up and be upset. We're also in this era that every college football coach has to deal with right now where it's tough to keep a team together. I mean, it's an incredibly tough thing to do and keep that consistency there. I think it's why Indiana's kind of a great example, but not necessarily one that I know if everybody can go ahead and just replicate, because he built that over at James Madison. He built that with the coaching staff there, and he brought a lot of those players over to Indiana, and that chip on the shoulder stayed with those guys because I think a lot of the time they're in James Madison, and now he's just kind of built it up into a monster in 2 years. So he's going to be able to get the pick of the litter, and he's going to have that faith unless they, completely get blown out for that national championship game, which I don't anticipate. He's going to have an argument saying, I can get you guys to a championship game and get you a lot of tape and make you look like great NFL prospects. And when you get to that point, I mean, your wins are selling the program more than that loyalty. But it started off with the loyalty for Kurt Cignetti and James Madison. And that is the tough thing to replicate. So we'll see. There's a lot of pieces to fall. Hopefully Corey Brown works out. Like I said about Terry Braden, I'm not really going to fault him a whole lot. It's not like I was in those practices, but I think that was a tough room to try to take over alongside a new defensive coordinator with you. So that's just a lot of new faces, and I think they were trying to get it all plugged together. You add some youth and inexperience to that. Now you got a really tall task, and they weren't able quite to deliver. I think that falls on quite a few people's hands, certainly not just Terry Braden. That's all I'm going to have on Husker football, because I've talked a lot of Husker football for the past couple hours. I have not talked NFL football. We do have the time slots officially out there. They were announced a couple of days ago, but they're interesting. So the first game to kick things off, January 17th, you got the Buffalo Bills versus the Denver Broncos. Obviously, the Denver Broncos get to host this one at Mile High Stadium. Give me your thoughts. Bo Nix versus Josh Allen. A lot of people are saying it's year for the Bills to go ahead and make their window run because you no Lamar, no Patrick Mahomes. Go ahead.
This game I think is one of the more intriguing games of round two. Just to kind of the atmosphere, we've seen the young quarterbacks kind of step up. Drake May started off slow but ended ending the game well. Caleb Williams started off a little rocky and ended up coming back and winning the game. So it'll be interesting to see how Bo Nix starts off, and like I said, I think it's more so of Sean Payton of getting him, situated comfortable. I mean, they're going to have to go there. That's not an easy place to play. Denver will be rocking. I mean, that atmosphere will be crazy. We're going to see how many hits Josh Allen can take, because that defensive line, like I said, that defense is a top 3 defense. So we'll see how much of Superman shows up, or is the doomsday defense gonna disrupt things and kind of bury him for this playoff run?
Do you have a clear winner in this one, or one that you feel better about than the other?
I'm rolling with the Broncos just because I like their defense. I think on their offense they have a bit more consistency with weapons. Them playing at home, people are going to be comfortable more in their routine and everything like that. Sean Payton's a motivator. The stories I think of like what he's done to get teams to play up until this point and everything like that. They've been solid out coming off of a rest. I'm rolling with Sean Payton and the Broncos.
Does that pop the bubble for the Buffalo Bills, or can they reload and get back to it the next season?
I think they're going to have to definitely acquire or put some pieces in play. I don't think they can replicate kind of what's happening this year, because everybody else is coming. The Jets, they have a lot of draft capital. I don't know if they have a lot of room to maneuver and bring in a lot of free agencies, but they got a strong coach there that's changing things around. New England, is picking down doors and taking names, so they are, what they are. And then you don't know what Miami, is going to bring there. A lot of, offensive-minded coaches or defensive-minded coaches, that could take that job, that might be appealing to some people and whatnot. So the AFC is tough. is definitely more loaded than the NFC. So they're going to have to, make some splashes to kind of keep up with things. They're number one. They're three. They don't really have a number one receiver. The guy that you kind of drafted is, kind of immature or taking step backs or not really, taking another step. You brought back Gabe Davis. He tore his Achilles or ACL. He's done and situated. So I mean, that staff is going to have to make something change to bring some stuff in there. Their defense is solid, but it doesn't scare me like three other organizations that are in the playoffs.
The thing is that, like you kind of mentioned before, but next year's NFL landscape is going to be so different. And if you're the Buffalo Bills, you just don't want that new landscape to overtake you, or any of these new teams. For that landscape with all these new coaches to catch that edge on where they're currently at right now. We're still waiting for a lot of those dominoes to fall the same way we are with college football. But it is, I worry about the Buffalo Bills if they flame out in this round with the Broncos, because with all the changes around, there's going to be some coaches. We're still waiting for John Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin. What do you ever think of Stefanski? Where does he end up? And
the ball, McDaniels. There's a lot of pieces to be moving and everything like that. So the Bills just don't scare me. Like it's just not enough. It's like, yeah, you're a good team. I know what to expect. It's like a magician saying, "Hey, look, a rabbit," and pulling it out of his hat. Like what to expect. I'm not too concerned about it. It doesn't excite me. It is what it is.
Do you think they need to go and actually put together some serious money and go get themselves a superstar wide receiver? Because that is the one thing the Bills have actually passed on. When they get to those big-time deals, they've often let their key wide receiver go in favor of adding a little bit more money in the pool for a little bit better of an offensive line, keeping that intact and ensuring that their defense is good. And then obviously they got their guy in James Cook at running back.
I think they probably need to add two. If you go, if you make a trade for A.J. Brown type of person, I think, that could potentially work. I mean, as well as what Josh Allen's playing style of just throwing the ball up and trusting his guy, to go get it. And then a guy similar to a Jacoby Myers or a Christian Kirk. I mean, look at what Christian Kirk was doing with the Texans. He was doing that with Jacksonville. He was doing that in Arizona. So you kind of need a 1-2 punch to kind of reload with them. But they definitely need an established true number one receiver. They haven't looked the same since Stephon Diggs have left. And I know they've still been successful, but at least with Diggs out there, I felt like they were a lot more dangerous.
Yeah, and they had the opportunity to lock Diggs down, and they opted to let him go because they didn't want to pay that capital. And you could make an argument it worked out for them, except they ran into the Chiefs. Maybe they win those games versus the Chiefs with him or without him. Well, I shouldn't say without him, because without him they lost. I don't know if the outcome changes with him, but I like that. I think A.J. Brown is the one that a lot of people are going to talk about potentially, just because it doesn't look like he's super happy with the Eagles as it sits right now. And Kirk's a good one, though. He's going to be a hot commodity, and maybe not talked about as publicly as a guy like A.J. Brown, but I'd imagine like the Bills, that's a great guy to set your eyes on, because he's similar to A.J. Brown. You can go throw the ball deep, and he's going to go for those 50-50 balls and end up coming on top of a lot of them. The Broncos, you feel pretty good. Like, regardless of how this game goes, next season, they're in a very good spot. If they get that offense running smoothly, we know what that defense can be. I like the Broncos' odds for the years going forward, if not just this year alone. The next Saturday game, before we go to our next break here, you got the 49ers versus the Seahawks. That one is 7 p.m. January 17th, same day. And you got 12-5 49ers, 14-3 Seattle Seahawks. Who do you like in this one?
Yeah, it's a lot on the line, I think, with the Seattle and 49ers game. I think I was about to say McDonald. I think Sam Donald, his reputation and how he steps up in big games and kind of how the rest of the world kind of sees him, because I feel like he's kind of starting to turn the page on, okay, well, he doesn't kind of show up in the big games. I mean, if he dominates his team how I believe he's going to, I think that dragon is slain. The 49ers have been hurt. And this is a division opponent. It's hard to play up there and everything like that. I just think they just run out of steam. It's just too much for that. I think that defense shows up in a big way. McCaffrey is McCaffrey. He doesn't have enough, running partners. You don't have a Pierson-El there. You don't have Ayuk there. Kittle, is done for the season. I think it's just too much for a well-rested, battle-tested, kind of rugged Seattle team. Going up there, I think is going to be just too much for them. But there's a lot on the line with Purdy. Purdy, his playoff performance and everything like that. Hopefully he doesn't have a 2-interception type of game, but he'll give the ball up. So I think a lot is riding on both teams of just kind of what their identity is or who they are for this duel.
Well said. And Sam Darnold, he was on fire to start the year. Then he had a couple games late where he showed a little bit of that interception number kind of creeping up on him. But then you go look at Brock Purdy. I'm probably just going to trust Shanahan in this game, in all honesty, for how good that team's been, despite all the injuries. And this is a common occurrence with Shanahan and the 49ers. He just finds a way to get them winning ball games. Brock Purdy's looked awesome. Outside of that last regular season week game, it was kind of Brock Purdy down the stretch there. And they looked good in that first round. I think in the second round, they're going to continue off of that. And for the Seattle Seahawks, if Sam Darnold finds a way to pull this off, I think he kind of started his legacy down there with Seattle. However, I think I'm just going to trust what I think is one of the best coaches still in the NFL, and that is Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy. I feel like they can be able to find a way to scheme it up.
That is crazy. I cannot believe you're taking the 49ers. I think both quarterbacks are similar. They both have stories to tell. As of right now, the more consistent, I'm going with the Seahawks. I think they are just the bigger bully. Not to say that the 49ers can't be that, but I just think it's just too late in the season. I don't think they're going to have enough juice to get it done.
Well, the Seahawks get the host, too, which certainly helps their case. The weather's not going to really play much of an element in this one, I don't think. If it is, it's very minor, unless there's all of a sudden some storm in Seattle. But, I mean, as much as I want to just go in all on Seahawks, they have those hiccups every now and then where, they could lose to anybody. Maybe not anybody, maybe not the Jets, but they could lose to those
They haven't had that pick. They haven't had that pickup, for the last 3 or 4 games of the season. So I feel like they kind of are hitting their stride, and they're a dangerous team that you don't want to see.
Fair enough. Well, that being said, we'll throw it to break there, and then we'll get to the other side in the NFC. We got 2 games there Sunday as well. That should be, well, I guess that's one NFC and one AFC. We'll talk about the other 2 playoff games on the other side. Don't go anywhere. This is the Dump Punt Hour. We got the morning Pierson-El on the Allo VIP line where they understand the importance of service with an exceptional heart. Now, Harrison Arns back at 1040 O Street, 93.7 The Ticket Studios. We'll talk to you guys on the other side.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Winter is upon us. Is your home prepared? If your furnace isn't keeping up or you've thought about replacing it, John Henry's has a new year, new unit special. When you purchase a select heating and cooling system from John Henry's, we will give you the furnace for free. There are also equipment and LES rebates up to an additional $850. This offer expires February 28th, so don't miss out. Find out more at jhlincoln.com or give John Henry's a call or text today.
435-5555.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at HamiltonIsBusiness.com.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Hog Wild has a delicious way for you to enjoy beef brisket. It's our open-faced hot beef sandwich. We start with our grilled Texas toast. Add a scoop of creamy mashed potatoes. Load them up with some tender Hog Wild beef brisket and top it off with our tasty brown gravy. It's absolutely delicious. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks. Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. The 2026 Love Nebraska season is underway, and professional volleyball is back in a big way. From powerful serves to game-changing rallies, every match brings elite competition to the court. See some of the game's top athletes, including Lexi Rodriguez and Jordan Larson, compete right here in Nebraska. Whether you're a longtime fan or new to the sport, there's a match for you this season. Explore the full schedule and plan your night out at lovbneb.com/schedule.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
Welcome back in. Don't Punt Hour, second segment. Harrison Arndt still on the ones and twos. We got DeMornay Pierson-El on the Allo VIP line. And in a little bit of breaking news, this one wrapped up maybe about half an hour ago, maybe a little bit less than that. The Texas Longhorns in men's college of basketball take down the number 10 Vanderbilt Commodores. That gives Vanderbilt their first loss of the season. DeMornay Pierson-El, as crazy as it is, we are just down to 3 undefeated teams left in college basketball. Arizona, Nebraska, and Miami, Ohio, just like everybody thought. It's incredible.
So hopefully somebody is hitting a jackpot off of that somewhere.
We always say it, like I'm a bets off kind of guy. 1-800-BETS OFF here in the state of Nebraska. But man, if you punched that ticket in and said, yeah, I think the Huskers will go 17-0, you were making so much money on a lot of these games, but even if you're just betting individually. But just a fun run nonetheless. And then a little bit of other college basketball news. I highlighted it before, but Northwestern, Nebraska is the next opponent. They took a loss at home versus number 13 Illinois. Northwestern would lose 68-79. And like I said, Vanderbilt, one of the undefeated teams who was left hanging around, takes a big time loss. It was 80-64 was the final score of that one. So they did not play well versus Texas. It was a road game, so always tough to win games on the road. But just putting that out there in perspective, as we got another team in that undefeated group taking their first loss, which leaves Nebraska within just 3 schools left. And hopefully Miami, Ohio can get ranked soon. I know they don't have the toughest competition, but those guys having the ridiculous record that they have, and they're beating teams by like 30, 40 points. I'm surprised they haven't squeaked into at least that top 25. But all good things for Nebraska that we get to watch this happen. We took care of business already. We get to wait a little bit. We'll get Northwestern next on the road. They still got Martinelli. But Bowie is no longer there, so that hopefully helps us out a little bit there. Let's get back to the NFL. 2 games on Sunday, same time slots. You're going to have one in the middle of the day and then one later in the day. Well, a little bit different. So you got a 2 p.m. and then a 5:30 p.m. come Sunday. The first game, the Texans and the Patriots. Everyone knows about that Texans defense. C.J. Stroud actually looks pretty good in that first playoff game. And then the Patriots, people want to say they played a weak strength of schedule. They showed a lot in that first round playoff game.
I feel like this game should have been put back later. I think a lot of people are going to be interested and intrigued with this one. I think this game is going to come down to what quarterback performs better under pressure. Who can make the minimum mistakes while being under duress. Something's going to happen, fumbles or picks or something like that. Which quarterback can make the least, harsh mistake or, costly mishap to happen in the game? I think that is the one who brings this game, who will win that game. I'm picking the Patriots just because I think they've been really, really strong. C.J. Stroud, from an offensive standpoint, hasn't been as consistent. And I don't feel like he's playing at a level, at his best level. And that's nothing, against him or anything like that. But the mishap on the snaps, like, come on now, like that can't be happening. So I'm just going with a more consistent player. They're playing at home. Drake May, started slow, but I think later in the game, that second half, it was flawless. So I'm taking the Patriots.
Yeah, as much as that Texans defense is good, and I think they will be good in the next one. What they give up? Yeah, they only gave up 6 points to the Steelers, but you go look at the Patriots, and they only gave up 3 to the Chargers, which was unreal. And obviously, the Chargers got a lot of offensive line woes.
They kind of played the same type of team.
Yeah,
outside of being in the cold.
Do you trust C.J. Stroud or Drake May more? I think that's kind of what it falls down to the beginning. And then
I'm as of right today, Drake May. For whatever reason, he looks. I don't want to say he looks squeamish or look like the moment was too big. It didn't look. The mistakes that were made and how things looked and everything like that. It just, for him and the level and where he's played at and how consistent, like, he's shown that he could be beforehand. He just hasn't been that, and he hasn't really been that, honestly, since he got back. Since he got back, he's really played the same way. And I understand maybe knocking off some rust and everything like that, but I just don't think it's well enough to get past a New England defense playing at home. I just don't think he's playing well enough.
I'm going to go Patriots as well. I think those guys being at home is a huge difference in that. And then it's crazy, but Drake Mays looked like the better quarterback than C.J. Stroud this year. Now, maybe it's the schedule. Maybe it's just, Drake May had the better year. I'm not super down on C.J. Stroud. I think he's a great quarterback. Maybe he's the one that steps up in this game, but I think both of those defenses are elite. And we talked about this, I think, the other night. You go look at this in the AFC, it's like Broncos, we know what that defense is about. Texans, we know what that defense is about. Patriots, we know what that defense is about. The weakest defense left in there on that side is the Bills. Yeah, Jacksonville's the same thing. It's incredible that, I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise that we get to this point, and it happens a lot of years in the playoffs, that you see the best defenses kind of prevailing and able to get those teams these big playoff wins. But I'm going to go with the Patriots. I like their offense just a little bit more, and I think both of those defenses have been absolutely staunch down the stretch here. Again, you got 6 points that the Texans gave up to the Steelers and only 3 points that the Patriots gave up to the Chargers. And it'll take it with a grain of salt, right? I understand. Chargers, both offensive tackles out. You're down to just multiple strings on their offensive line, and they always show the PFF numbers. They're like dead last in a lot of the categories. All teams are a little bit banged up. It's really painful when you're looking at both your starting tackles being hurt. And then you see Justin Herbert being back there, getting rushed, not having a lot of time to throw, looking uncomfortable. It's no surprise, but you also can't just say it's all due to the injury. That Patriots defense is absolutely legit. They made it uncomfortable. I'm going to go with the Patriots as well. I was hoping to zag on one of these. I think so far we're 3 for 3 because you took the Broncos over the Bills, right? No, I took the 49ers.
You took the 49ers. We definitely going to zag on this last one.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why I saved it for last. And dead wrong. This is absolutely deserving of the nightcap to close out.
Taking Rams.
Can you at least tell me why?
Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay. I mean, in these type of situations, I'm taking them. That last game is probably the worst we've seen their offense, and I honestly thought Carolina was just a kind of a better matchup. There's just some teams that just match up with you better. I think Carolina was just was just that team. But I think Matthew Stafford is going to have a field day with picking apart your Bears defense. I'm sorry. I just am. The cornerback, was it 6 or 20? They got picked on all day, all game.
Gordon?
By,
Gordon?
Yes. Yeah. He got picked on by Jordan Love. Matthew Stafford is a Hall of Famer. He is, I mean, whether if it's Puka, whether if it's Devontae, whoever, I think it's going to be a massacre.
Come on, man. Give me a little bit. Give me some hope.
No, bearing a blizzard or, really, really bad winds or something like that, that is the only thing that gives, I think, them the chance. Chicago is a physical team. You can't count them out. I just think the Rams are going to shut the door. That type of style of game is their type of style of game, is what they're used to. It's the 49ers offense. It's the somewhat similar of Seattle. Seattle's offense, like they see teams like the Bears, and I just don't think I don't think the Bears are. It's too early. I don't want to say it's too early. I feel like Caleb Superman Williams will show up and wreck the show, and not in a good way.
Gotta say, the Superman Caleb Williams has been saving the show lately.
No. That's been Ben Johnson. That's been Ben Johnson, controlling him and everything. I think I told you he has a Superman superhero complex. He wants to save the day and do too much, and I feel like this is going to be one of those type of games to where he can't control his urges and is going to turn around and bite him.
Man, he had a lot more to say about this game than all the other ones. I don't know what the deal is with that, but I'm going to try to sell you on the Bears, and I don't think I'm going to succeed based off of that. But I'm going to try.
No,
I'm going to do my damnedest to get you.
I think Verse is going to make sure he has a nightmare.
Okay, so Stafford in cold weather games in his last 10, he's 1 for 9. Any concern there? Given that the coldest game they played in this year was 38 degrees, and it's going to be 15 with 13, 15 mile an hour winds.
No.
Okay.
The man lived in Detroit for 12 seasons. He understands cold.
Well, if we're understanding it, he's 1 and 9 in the last 10 cold weather games. But fair enough.
That's fine. That's fine. And then he's played at Lambeau. He's played in Minnesota. When Minnesota was using the old stadium, the University of Minnesota Stadium, he's played in the cold. I'm not worried about that.
Okay, they've struggled on the road this year. They're just one game above 500, which maybe that's not struggling, isn't fair, but 5-4 on the road this year. They have not had their best performances while playing on the road. It's going to be a cold weather game. You do got probably the MVP in Stafford. I'll give you that much. That's going to be going against a bend but don't break Bears defense, which does scare you a little bit when you got a quarterback as accurate as Stafford who can kind of pick his spots and play that patient game with you. He's smart enough to play that patient game. The thing that's the Bears can't have that first half offensive lull. I mean, maybe they do the cardiac Bears thing again in the second half and pull it off, but I mean, you don't want to bank on that because it's been incredible and fun to watch, but it's a tough thing to bank on.
At some point in time, the luck runs out. It can't be the same thing over and over again. I mean, it's been the same story. You start off slow, and that was against a division, opponent and everything like that. But I think McVay and company, if that happens or whatnot, they're not going to be one to take the gas, their foot off the pedal. They are going to make it, a massacre. And it could potentially be that as long as, barring, something bad with the weather. Meaning, it's blowing crazy wind. You can't really throw it downfield. I think if it's that type of game, then potentially, that helps the Bears, and that's more of a game that they wanted because, they're attacking downhill and everything like that will come into play even more.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing for the Bears, even if the weather isn't going crazy, is that initiate the run game. Get Swift and Monangai going. That's how I think you can take the Rams out of it a little bit. If you can take the ball away from them, force them to sit there on the sideline in that cold weather, run the ball. And to your point, I know you're not fully sold on Williams. That takes away the hero ball. You don't got to worry about the hero ball if you're just turning around and handing it off or doing some jet sweep action. So I think that will be a big part of the game plan. Are you not convinced on Williams yet?
No, I think I'm convinced on him. He's definitely taken a step, and this is the quarterback that I think that they were hoping to get. It took the right coach to kind of bring it out.
Yeah, 100%.
He just has to, follow up and things be, consistent and everything like that. But I'm not comparing him to Patrick Mahomes, but the trajectory of when Patrick kind of took off and, what he was doing early on and everything like that. The thing that Patrick did the best was be consistent with it. So it's good that they have a coach, that they got the right coach there. They got the right quarterback there. We'll see how much, of that offensive line that they can keep and continue to build on. But we've seen Ben Johnson with, look at his years with the Rams. So I think it's a good formula. It's just, year in, year out, when people actually, figure you out a little bit, you still continue to climb and still make it difficult for him. So I like Caleb. Like I said, he's definitely taken a step. He's definitely, made me shut up this year. I'll say that. But like I said, it's just how consistently can he follow up in the years to come. I think it is how you kind of judge him.
That's fair. You know what? I can take that. With everything that you just said, that one, I'll take that 100%. You could have been a lot meaner because I haven't always been the kindest to your Raiders over there. So I'm surprised that you were even that considerate. But I think you're right. With Caleb Williams, as fun as this year's been, it's the years to come. Can he keep it up? As great as
they're having the Bears are having the same type of run and playing like how the Commanders did last year. The Commanders were hurt on offense and defense this year, and it wasn't the same type of success. Maybe a bit of a hangover from last year, but the Bears, I feel like, are on that same type of level and playing and everything like that. They are the Commanders from last year. Like they're that team, so they have a chance. They're good. They're solid on both sides. Like I said, the only thing I think that is really going to stop them is just if Caleb Williams goes and tries to do too much and it harms them.
Yeah, for me, he's just got to hit the easy ones. That's where he's ironically struggled the most. He can drill a guy with 2 feet off the ground on a crucial 4th down conversion, but he's had some throws, even in that Green Bay game, where you're in the pocket, it's a clean pocket, you just got to hit the guy that's open, and ironically, he has a harder time with easier throws than he does the high difficulty ones. Can't disagree with you there. Good morning, Pierson-El, and I think we can go ahead and wrap up on our playoff talk there. We'll talk a little bit of Husker hoops to wrap things up because it's been that good. The women's got a big one tomorrow versus Michigan State. Don't go anywhere. Don't punt hour. We got Good morning, Pierson-El, the former Husker wide receiver, special teams threat. Harrison Arns back at the Ticket Studios, 93.7 The Ticket. We'll talk to you in a bit.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want, because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day, because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their Contact Us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Most resolutions for the new year fail before January is even over. Why not resolve to just be a little bit cleaner in 2026? Nebraska Auto Detail is here for you. Now through March 30th, if you purchase a ceramic coating, you'll get a free interior detail. There's no better way to start your year than taking care of your car and decluttering the mess that it becomes so easily. Book your detail today at nebraskaautodetail.com or call Joe and the team at 402-601-5086.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment. Good morning, Pierson-El, Don't Punt Hour. Shout out to the people downtown Lincoln having fun. School's back in session. You can tell by the crowds of people, the people banging on the windows. Nothing wrong with that. We like giving the people a little bit of attention out there. That's where we're downtown Lincoln. We do got another game. I want to finish up with some Husker hoops, but as I mentioned before, Vanderbilt lost. That was one of the 4 remaining undefeated teams. So with their loss, we're down to 3. And those 3 are Nebraska, who don't play until Northwestern later this week, and then Arizona and Miami, Ohio. Arizona's playing right now, and they are currently number 1 in the country, but they are down by just 1 point at half, 38-39 versus the Arizona State Sun Devils. So you got a little bit of rivalry matchup here. And if Arizona State wins this one, then we're down to just 2 undefeated teams. That would be Miami, Ohio, and Nebraska, just like everyone predicted. Good morning, Pierson-El. I mean, just how unprecedented is this run from Husker hoops, and how fun is this thing to watch take off?
I mean, it's been an absolute, crazy start. I think definitely has Coach. He's up for a contract extension, correct? Or did he get an extension last year?
I thought we extended him already, but let me double check.
I think you might be right. But I mean, this is what they were, hoping for and everything like that. And he's finally, players have came back from being injured, and I can only imagine what things would have looked like if he was on the team last year. What they did with the squad that they had last year. But I think all Nebraska fans, are ecstatic about this, and it's definitely one of those things. That when things are going good, even when things are kind of mediocre or whatnot. But it's no place like Nebraska. I think basketball is definitely definitely both sides, who male and female, definitely are outdoing themselves this year for sure.
Oh, 100%. And we can say that those guys. What I respect about those guys is I think they don't think they're outdoing themselves. I think, hey, that's how you are undefeated, right? You got to fully believe that you are that team, and you can tell they're bought in. They think they're supposed to win every single game, and I love that attitude, as they've been proven by taking down ranked opponents, to taking down opponents on the road, now dominating in conference play. A lot of games left, but you're already 3 games away from winning 20. 20 is that magical number. At this point, who cares? Just keep winning ball games. You'll get there before you know it. And if Arizona loses tonight, it's kind of fun to be thinking about Nebraska. Would it be one of the 2 potentially, or 3, if Arizona wins tonight? Undefeated teams left in the country. And to be 17-0, I think you're right. Rink mass, 2-0, but how good the team would have been last year. But this year, the way they're just all bought in. I mean, Braden Frager, who's just dunking on people. He's a little bit more athletic than I think everybody realized.
They're they got the confidence. They understand it. See ball, get ball. There's not any I don't want to say like fighting in between the team, but there's no like ball hogginess or anything like that. Like they're all just firing on the same cylinder, one band, one sound. And they're getting the job done by any means necessary, whether that's diving on the floor, hitting threes, dunking on people, stealing the ball. They're playing basketball, I guess you could say, the right way, and making it look easy.
Yeah, and I think that's the best way to say it. When you watch Nebraska basketball, like I think the older heads could even watch that and be like, that looks like the right way to play basketball. It's not a lot of rush shots. They play well into the shot clock. They share the ball incredibly well. And then if you like defense, you like watching Husker basketball because they play really, really good defense. And Nate Lenz is a big part of that. And that's how you get a guy like Sam Hoiberg, who had 6 steals alone in that last game. Just keep enjoying the ride. I don't know where it's going to end, but I'll tell you right now, it's been a hell of a fun one at this point. 17-0. And we'll keep watching. We'll definitely have the post game versus their game versus Northwestern, but that one's a little bit of ways yet. So we're going to wrap up here. We got late night in Lincoln with myself, DP, the boss man. But tomorrow, Pierson-El, appreciate it always. I will let you go. Talk to you again tomorrow. And for everybody else, don't go anywhere. 93.7 The Ticket. We keep it rolling until midnight, Monday through Thursday. We'll talk to you guys in a bit.